So here we are showing you that on a graph. Here is strength. Here is a strength, either tensile strength or yield strength in KSI unit here, right? And we are doing percent cold work, I will tell you. And here is ductility in elongation percent. So you see on the graph, we have tensile strength, we have yield strength, and we have ductility of some material, right? So here, what is this material? They are saying unalloyed oxygen-free copper. So it is copper, which is a very pure type of copper. There is no oxygen and so on mixed in it. And strain hardening is increasing. So if you just remember the cold working, right, there is a roller. So if we have changed the thickness by 10%, then we will say 10% cold work has been done. If we have changed the thickness by 20% during rolling, then we will say 20% cold work is done. So this is how we find the percent cold work, right? That the change in dimension upon the original dimension. So you have some thickness, you push it through the rollers, and once you get the final thickness, you measure the final thickness, measure the change in thickness, delta T, upon the original thickness. That will give you the percent cold work. So, right? So if it is 10% cold work, we have done some work, some strain hardening has been done. So some increase in strength will happen. If we do more cold work, of course, we have applied more force, so more. So you can see here, take any one graph, take the yield strength. This is right, the value 10 KSI, 10,000 PSI is the yield strength of this material when we have not done any cold work under normal condition. By the time we have done 10% cold work, this has gone to about 28 KSI, huge increase. By the time we have done about 20% cold work, this has gone to about 36 KSI, right? So you can see that as we do more and more cold work on the material, the yield strength increases. Similarly, the tensile strength. Original material, the tensile strength was about 32 KSI. After 10% cold work, it became about 38 KSI. After 20% cold work, it became about 42, 43 KSI, right? And we are showing here that the maximum amount of cold work we could do was 60%. This is already huge. We don't do so much change in dimension because the material will start to crack and break, right? 20, 30, 40% cold work is more than enough normally, right? And ductility, of course, you see, we know, we have told you many times that if a material strength increases, its hardness also increases, but the ductility decreases because the material is harder now, it is not soft. You see, it is the opposite. Ductility means the material is soft. You can change the shape easily. It will deform a large amount. So if the material is stronger and harder, now it will not deform that much. So ductility graph will go the other way. So original material ductility is about, say, 55% or something, right? Percent. And after 10% cold work, ductility goes down to about 25%. After 20% cold work, ductility goes down to only 18% and so on, right? So this is very important for you to understand, and it is simple to understand. The people who originally discovered this may have spent years and years and lots of experiments to find that this always happens to all the metals. But any metal that can show a strain hardening, this will happen. That when we do cold work means at room temperature, we apply so much force that it deforms in the plastic region. So this is called a strain hardening. So depending on how much cold work we did, 10% or 20% or 30%, the yield strength of the material and the tensile strength of the material will increase and the ductility of the metal will decrease. So now normally this would be very good that the strength is higher. So if this is a part and I have increased its strength and now I use it, then it has higher strength, so it is good for me. But if I have to manufacture this material, then its ductility has gone down. So I should not do any strain hardening before manufacturing. I manufacture a piece and after manufacturing I increase. Or if we increase the strength by strain hardening process, cold working process before manufacturing, then I decide that I still want say 25% yield ductility. I still want 25% ductility. So 25% ductility is roughly here. So I do not go more than 8-9% cold work. I do 8-9% cold work. Some strength increase has already happened. And right, so we have to think as an engineer that how much strength increase we want and how much ductility we still want. Okay, so here we are now showing you a real diagram that this is the same material. It is 1018 steel. Steels are hundreds and thousands of different kinds, so they give names. You can go to any place on the internet or the book and find the scheme number. This 1018 will tell you how much carbon is there in the steel and other thing. And in later chapters, we can talk about steel composition. So it is the 1018 steel, but this graph, this lower graph, is when it is in annealed condition. We will show you annealed later on, that this is a heat treatment condition where it becomes softer. And this is cold rolled, right? Cold working has been done, same material. So you see the stress strain graph is this when it is normal soft, and the strain graph is this when it has been cold rolled. So the strength has been increased hugely, but it was ductile until here, and now ductility is only until here. So this will obviously happen, that if there is a large change in the strength, then there will be a large change in the ductility of the material also. Let us do a simple example. When I say simple, you see, when we do any example for the first time, we do not want it to be a very complicated one, but later on we build up more. But even these simple ones, if you do it carefully with your mind open, then you will see that yes, now you understand it, you can solve many other problems. A 70% copper, 30% zinc brass. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Its sheet is 0.0955 centimeter thick. This is cold rolled with a 30% reduction in thickness. What must be the final thickness of the sheet? So just stop for a minute, take your pen and paper, read it again, solve it. It is just a one-line question, not a big thing. But please solve it first. Pause my lecture, solve it, and once you have solved it, then start my lecture again. Okay, so I defined percent cold work is what? If the thickness is changing, then the percent cold work is change in thickness upon original thickness multiplied by 100. Right? That multiply by 100 is just for a percent. Otherwise, instead of 30%, if you write 0.3, then you don't have to write the 100. So percent cold work is equal to delta T upon T into 100. And original thickness is given, percent cold work is given. So delta T find out from the equation, and then add the delta, subtract the delta T from the original dimension, and you, right? So this is, so percent cold work is initial thickness minus final thickness upon T naught, delta T. Of course, initial thickness is more, final is less, because we are reducing the thickness during cold rolling, right? So this is it. Now this number is given. 30% means 0.3, and original thickness is given. So original thickness here and original thickness here, and you directly find out. Here I am not changing the units, I am just writing centimeter, because the whole thing is the same units. So the final answer is directly centimeter, but it is 0.0669 centimeter. So you can move it by 2 places, and it is 6.69 millimeter also, right? So because the original thickness in this problem was given in centimeter, so you can leave it in centimeter, or you can write 6.69 centimeter, right? So a very simple example, that percent cold work is change in thickness upon original thickness. So if any of the two values are given, then the third value can be easily found out.